The Parisian night was quiet. Rain slicked the cobblestones. Mark, a seasoned taxi driver, saw a figure emerge from the fog, a woman. She hailed him. Her voice, when she spoke, was a hushed whisper, barely audible above the city's murmur. "Montmartre," she breathed, her face obscured by the shadows of a wide-brimmed hat. Mark knew the Parisian streets like the back of his hand. Every twist and turn, every hidden alley and bustling boulevard was etched into his memory. Years spent navigating the labyrinthine city had sharpened his senses, making him almost instinctual in his movements. He had a knack for reading people, for sensing their stories even before they spoke a word. But this woman, shrouded in the damp chill of the night, intrigued him more than anyone else he had ever encountered. She was an enigma, her silence both unsettling and strangely alluring, as if she carried a secret too heavy to share. He'd seen all sorts in his time behind the wheel, each passenger a fleeting glimpse into a different life. Tourists eager to catch a glimpse of the Eiffel Tower, their eyes wide with wonder. Lovers whispering secrets in the back seat, their voices hushed and intimate. Businessmen talking on their phones, their minds preoccupied with deals and deadlines. But this woman, with her ghostly pallor and her unwavering silence, was different. She was a mystery he felt compelled to unravel. As the woman settled into the back seat, Mark couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had gripped him. It was as if the very air around him had thickened, making it hard to breathe. He glanced at her through the rear-view mirror, trying to read her expression, but her face remained an enigma. The air in the taxi seemed to grow colder, the scent of damp earth and something vaguely floral filling his senses. It was an odd combination, one that made him feel even more unsettled. He rubbed his hands together, trying to shake off the chill that had seeped into his bones. The woman sat motionless, her gloved hands clasped tightly in her lap. Her silence was heavy, suffocating almost. Mark wondered what thoughts were running through her mind. What secrets she might be hiding behind those dark, unreadable eyes. The fog clung to the city, obscuring the familiar landmarks in a ghostly shroud. It was as if the world outside had vanished, leaving them in a bubble of eerie silence and isolation. Streetlights cast an eerie yellow glow, illuminating the woman's pale face in fleeting moments. Each flash of light seemed to reveal a different aspect of her, making her appear almost otherworldly. Her eyes, dark and fathomless, seemed to follow Mark's every move in the rearview mirror. They were like two black holes, drawing him in, making it impossible to look away. He tried to ignore the prickling sensation on the back of his neck, but the feeling of being watched intensified. It was as if her gaze had a physical weight pressing down on him, making him hyper-aware of every movement he made. The journey to Montmartre was strangely quiet, almost eerily so. The woman hadn't spoken a word since giving her destination. She sat there, staring out the window, lost in her own thoughts. The silence in the car was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic thud of the windshield wipers and the distant hum of the city. The rain added a melancholic soundtrack to the night. Mark tried to make conversation, to break the tension that hung heavy in the air, but his attempts were met with silence. He glanced at her through the rear-view mirror, hoping for a response, but she remained mute. When they reached the foot of the Montmartre steps, Mark stopped the taxi and turned around. "We're here, mademoiselle," he said softly, expecting her to stir. But the back seat was empty. The woman was gone, vanished without a trace, as if she had never been there. He checked the back seat, the sidewalk, even the curb. Nothing. It was as if she had evaporated into the night air. One minute she was there, her presence palpable, the next she was gone. Mark was left with an unsettling feeling, a mystery that would haunt him for nights to come.